Hey everyone, me again. Now we're going to focus on the SmartPlans tab, which is located just beneath Tasks, just above Referrals, over on your left-hand side here. SmartPlans are basically ways that you can be auto-reminded to keep in touch with your database through various forms of communication, which can include, but are not necessarily limited to, emails, texts, phone calls, handwritten notes, and anything else that you want to put into one. Now, a smart plan can be assigned to any contact or any group of contacts. This is why when we talked about the contacts in the Contacts tab when we were setting up a contact, putting in tags is important, because sometimes if you have a group of contacts that you maybe met at an open house, or that you met at a party, or you met someplace else, you want to send them, or you want to set them up all on the same smart plan that's a little bit more cookie cutter to them because you met them at a party or at an open house, etc. So there's two different ways we can set up a smart plan. First of all, if you click on the SmartPlans tab, this is what will show up. You'll notice that I've been going through and I've been testing some different custom ones. So this is what shows up under My Smart Plans. So my Smart Plans are the ones that I have created myself. But then there's the library, which, as you can see, is a whole bunch of pre-set up smart plans that Command has set up for you, and every once in a while they'll add another one here just because they get some feedback from agents around the country and the world who maybe want a more specific smart plan, but they're pretty self-explanatory. There's ones like promoting your app to people, bi-weekly neighborhood nurtures, which sends them basically neighborhood information, kind of like how if you search for a house on Redfin or Zillow, you get that like bi-weekly email or that weekly email that says homes in your area. That's kind of what this is. An 8x8 new contact engagement. Basically, this is just 8 different touches. If you want a new contact, just to make sure you're following up with them, etc. Quarterly call, birthday. Birthday's a really big one, actually. We use birthday quite a bit. That's one of the reasons why in your contacts video, we encourage you to find out birthdays, because this will kind of let you know when their birthdays are, etc., etc. Just to kind of give you an idea of what one of these is, you can view the steps in each one. And so like the steps for this 8x8, it starts out with a SMS or MMS text message. And it says automated or manual text. If in your settings you have a Twilio account, which is a way that you can set up a phone number that sends out automatic text messages, you can send out automated messages through the Twilio app. However, if you don't have that, that's fine. I know it costs money, and a lot of you are new in real estate, and being charged monthly fees for things is not something you should be jumping into lightly. You can always send a manual text, and a manual text is always, more personal anyway. You can call them by name and, talk to them about something that's personal to them so they know it's not an automated text. And then, so in our last video, we talked about tasks. So this would actually show up in a task. So it will remind you that you need to send this. And once you click that that's been done, it'll delay 7 days. And then it will ask you to reach back out in a touch task. So an interaction task with a contact. Interaction task is very vague. You could send a handwritten note, you could send an email, you could call them, you could send another text if you wanted to, feel out the situation per contact, and then just kind of make the best decision. Again, this would show up in your task list on your home page. So that way you're reminded to do it, which is one of the beautiful things about the task page and about the smart plans, is that they work together to make sure that your busy mind as an agent is not distracted enough to not keep in contact with your database. And then it will delay 7 more days, and then it will encourage you to have a phone call, and then it will delay 7 more days, and then it will encourage you to send another automated or manual text, then delay 7 days, then add to a smart plan. It's encouraging you to do that. The link is the monthly neighborhood nurture. So they're encouraging you to actually add them to this smart plan right here on the left-hand side of my screen that you see my cursor circling. And then delay 7 more days, and then a phone call. So if they're on a second smart plan at that, it'll start more steps. So they'll still be on this smart plan, but then they'll be added to this one, so they'll get automated messages. And any tasks that you need to do manually related to this monthly neighborhood nurture will be added in alongside the 8x8, if that makes sense. And then, you finish it up by doing, an SMS text, delay 7 days, and then touch task, call them, email them, something. You can see here that the duration lasts, it's 15 steps. It lasts for 50 days. So in 50 days, you are contacting, or as Keller Williams calls it, touching your contact 8 times. And all of these kind of show how long they start, like quarterly call plan. 3 steps, 91 days, and 1 touch. So basically, you're calling them every quarter. And in this one, it will automatically repeat. So you don't have to go in here and keep adding them after 90. Just because 91 days is up doesn't mean that you have to go back in and re-add them to this, because that would be annoying to have to remember once every 3 months. So this one automatically repeats. But if you noticed, the other one did not automatically repeat. So you want to make sure that you have that, correctly. Anyway, to go back in and actually add your own smart plan, you can go back to My Smart Plans. You can hit Create up here at the right-hand corner. The plan name is going to be, I'm going to do testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hit Apply. And it's really, really easy. It is just a click motion. So like over here on your right hand side, you have all of the different steps that you can take, and they're adding these as you go. And over here is the actual steps. So kind of a broader, more detailed version of what you already saw. And so let's see. We're going to start this one out with making a phone call. And so you can go in here and make a phone call, and I'm just going to say call, and then this nifty F button over here is actually a way that you can add in a custom first name and then a custom last name. So if you add this, for example, if I added this to my Curtis Smith contact, it will say in my task, call Curtis Smith. And you can click on that contact. There's other things you can add into, like the contact email, their phone number, their birthday, anniversary, etc. I usually just do first and last name, then I go in and look, unless it's like a birthday greeting or something, that way I have a cheat sheet of, who to call. Task description, that's when I'll add the contact phone number. And you can put in any other notes that you want, like, maybe just initial touch, whatever you want the task description to be. If you have a reminder that you need to remind yourself, put it in there. Any hyperlinks you want to put in. A hyperlink is basically just a link to a website of some kind. If you're making a phone call, obviously that's not very hard, or that's not very easy to do, but and then you can say how long it's due for. So this is how long it'll show up on your task page without, or task list rather, without going yellow and telling you that it's overdue. So I'm going to give myself 2 days. I usually give yourself a minimum of 2 days to make this phone call, because you are a busy agent, and if you force yourself to do 100 things in one day and 10 things the next day, it will be more difficult to manage your time. So I encourage you just to give yourself a couple days to make each of these tasks happen. The next thing I will do is, you don't want to have one happen right the next day. So you're going to always want to set a delay in between each one. So in this case, we're going to set a delay for 7 days. This means that between this task and your next task, you have a 7-day delay. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to send an email. So emails are fun because in Command Now, as long as you have your Keller Williams email set up, just like I have here, you can send automatic emails without paying for a subscription. It was very, very common back in the day of MailChimp that you'd need to have your MailChimp set up. But now you don't have to, you just have to have commands. So this would be your subject. I'm going to actually come down here, and I've done hi there before. And my email is going to be like, hey, again, you can choose their name. So that way when they get their email, their first name shows up. So, hey, Curtis, checking in and seeing how your home search is going. Oh, if I could spell, that would be super. Sometimes my brain likes to add in like entire half words in addition to the half word I just typed, and that's just fun. Call me at 555-5555 with any questions, or just feel free to put in whatever you want. Now, a common question that I do get about this does not automatically add in your email signature. So you want to make sure, or at least it doesn't right now, you want to make sure that your email signature is put in here. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that. Remember, if, in the contacts page, I encouraged you to add yourself as a guinea pig. I encourage you to add your personal self, your personal contact as a guinea pig for every smart plan you have, so you visually see what it does to your clients. If you don't know what it does to your clients, then you can't explain it to them. And sometimes, especially a manual smart plan or a created smart plan by you can go awry. And so you just want to make sure that it looks good, looks professional, because the last thing you want is to come across as unprofessional. So I just kind of go to my email signature. Let's see here. I'm just going to do my sent mail. And I'm going to, I'm just going to do this and copy. And I'm going to paste it. Now, it doesn't always come across the way I want it to come across, so you get the general idea, and so I come in and I kind of edit it, and then once it's pasted here, you can copy and paste it. If you wanted to send 3 more emails throughout this smart plan, you could just copy and paste from this initial one, so you don't have to constantly edit this all the time. So boom. And then after that, I'm going to scroll back up and I'm just going to click set delay, scroll back down. I'm going to delay another 7 days. And our team doesn't have a Twilio account, so we like to send personal text messages. So I'm just going to add in a send SMS text message. It's going to it says please set up your Twilio account. We don't have one, so we're just going to have that in there, and we don't have to type in a text message. If you did have a Twilio account, it would have your number here, just like it kind of has your reply to email up here, and then you could type in the text. And again, using this, you can add their first name, last name, etc. You can also add in your team name to some of these. And then, add another delay. I'm going to do 5 days this time. And then, notice as you go down, you're on day 15 of this now. So you've got 2 weeks of stuff, so you can kind of keep track of how long this is taking. And then I'm going to just create a random task. It'll be a touch task. The touch task will be send card to first name, space, last name. And I'll just say handwritten greeting card. And then, this create task is a really good one. If you set it up quarterly to repeat, you can send everyone in your database a card for, happy summer, happy winter, happy fall, happy spring, just get creative with this. Think about all the possibilities you could do. And then, if you wanted to add a hyperlink, you could. We're not going to. We're going to give ourselves, since it's a handwritten note, we're going to give ourselves 3 days, because, it takes a while to handwrite a lot of cards. So, I need a handwritten greeting card. There we go. And then we're going to just create a delay. And then you can also add them to another smart plan if you wanted to, but I don't really want to do that. I want to actually restart this. And this will automatically restart this entire flow. And actually, I'm going to delay this for 2 weeks to give them time to get my card. And then I'll restart, and I'll start back up to calling them and saying, hey, did you get my card? Great. And then, you can go back through everything, and you can choose to skip some of these if you want to, but this at least sets them up to remind you to contact this contact. When you're done, you're going to hit save. Oh, I must complete all the required fields. Oh. I'll just do that, sorry. And I'm going to hit save. It says all changes in your SmartPlan have been saved. Great. And now you can go through, you can actually add people directly from this page by clicking this little person with a plus sign up here on the upper right. Or you can go back and my, let's see, I'm going to refresh. There we go. Now my, the one I just created, the testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right here. It lasts for 34 days, and I can go over here and I can either edit it, I can add contacts to it, or I can copy or delete it. So in short, that's SmartPlans, everyone. I highly encourage you to use them. And this was a little bit longer of a task, or tab rather, but these are really, really handy for increasing your effectiveness with building your business. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.